everyone, welcome to this tutorial. In this tutorial I'm going to show you how to build this website. As you can see, it's really cool, it's really beautiful and modern, and you can build a website for your own, for your business, for your organization, and it's really nice and it's really beautiful. It's also 100% responsive, so I'm going to show you how it responds. So as you can see, I'm resizing and its response. It's also mobile friendly. Here you can see the mobile menu, and this is what I'm going to teach you to do, this website. To take a look at the website. So first we have a header that is docked to the top of the web browser. Then we have a logo, a navigation, a full-size image here. So the full-size images are really modern today. And we have a title here, subtitle, and call to action button. Then we have 3 feature boxes with text. And we have here this our work, and this is a description about the work. Obviously, this is just a sample text, and you can put in whatever you want. You can put a video if you want to, or a picture, or you can do whatever you want. And here we have a contact form, so people can use the contact form to contact you. And I'm going to teach you how to build everything that you see here. So yeah, this is the template, and actually this template is built without any programming knowledge. I built it using a program, web designing program called WYSIWYG Web Builder. WYSIWYG Web Builder is a program that allows you to create a website without HTML, PHP, CSS, and JavaScript knowledge. You just have to drag and drop assets and then define them and change the settings. And if you know how to use this program properly, you'll be able to build everything that you can imagine. So the web designing skills of this software are really useful and many. But if you want to create a website like community site or something like that, then WYSIWYG Web Builder is not the right software for you. WYSIWYG Web Builder just creates a beautiful looking and also professional looking software. So if you're a designer and if you have ideas, then WYSIWYG Web Builder is the right software for you. So now the first thing that you need to do is, of course, download and install the program, and you can do this by visiting the WYSIWYG Web Builder official website, which is wysiwygwebbuilder.com. Then you need to click on the download link and download the latest English version from here. And you need to have a Windows system. So if you have a Linux or a Mac, then you have to download the Quick and Easy Web Builder, which is the same program. It's almost the same, but it has a different name. So you need to download. So if you download the WYSIWYG Web Builder, when you download it, you need to extract the zip file. So you just download the zip file, then you extract it, and then you have to run the setup and install the program. Now you can try this program for 30 days for free, so you can run the trial version, and then you can purchase the software for $40. And when you actually run the trial version, WYSIWYG Web Builder will include a watermark on your website. So it's just a small advertisement that your website has been built with WYSIWYG Web Builder. If you want to remove this watermark, then you need to purchase the full version. So as you can see, this is the full version. It's empty. Everything it's blank. So this is what you need. You need a fully blank page. But if you have this watermark, then you have to deal with it. But I don't have it, so that's good. Now the next thing that you need to do is you need to download the assets that are used for this website. So if you want to build exactly the same website, so you need to download the assets, which are not much. So you need to download the logo, the logo, the full-size image, and the font. So I will put a link in the description for this zipped folder, and you need to download it, and then you need to extract it. So this folder contains the images and the font that is used. And before you start, you need to install the font. So just double click on it if you're on Windows, and then press install, and it will install the font. But obviously you can use other fonts. For example, you can use Roboto, the Google Roboto font, but I like to use this one. And yes, so basically what we're going to do is we're going to start building this website, and I will be looking at this website and trying to do the same thing. It's one of my favorite things that I created. I created it from scratch. And it's really nice, especially with these scroll effects. And I'm going to show you how to build them as well. So yes, so this is the website, and we can start building it. So first, open WYSIWYG Web Builder. And like I mentioned, I'm going to look at this website and try to do the same things. Okay, let's start. So the first thing that we need to do is we need to launch WYSIWYG Web Builder, and then we need to select the dimensions that we want to work with. So I like to work with 900 pixels in width. So I'm going to select 900 pixels, and then you need to right click on this. So here, where the site manager is, here are your pages. Here are the properties. But the properties are also displayed when you double click on an object. And here is the toolbox. So all of the tools that you can use. So you can use, there are a lot of tools, and there are also extensions that are allowed that extend the possibilities of WYSIWYG Web Builder. And as you can see, there are a lot of tools here. So first, right click on this page and select page properties. First, you need to give this page a name, and I'm going to name it template. And we want to work with 900 pixels, so I'm going to select 900 pixels, and you can select an icon, a favorite icon. So it's basically just this icon here, but I don't have one. And an Apple Touch icon is the icon for the mobile devices, so you can select from here if you have one. Then we need to change this to center horizontally, and we need to click OK. Now we can start building our website, and the first thing that you see is the header. So I've built the header using a layer. So the layer is under the advanced sections here, the layer, and this is how the layer looks like. Now let's resize it, and double click on it to edit it. And now first I need to click on style and remove the border, because we don't need this border. Then you can see that the layer is white, and we don't have a color, but we have this shadow here, so we need to create a shadow. So I'm going to click on shadow box, and we need to define blur, offset X, and offset Y. So I'm going to type in 15, and then I'm going to type in 2, and then 2. So I'm going to click OK, and it looks almost like this. So you can decrease this. So for example, you can use 15, and then 1, and then 1, and maybe this is better. So now I'm going to resize this like this, and I'm going to leave it as 100 pixels, for example. Here we can see. Now we need a logo. So this logo, you can place your logo here. You can use different colors if you want to. You can give this layer a color. So just drag and drop an image, and the image is actually in this assets folder, then images, and then this is the logo that I'm going to use. So resize it, and then place it here. Okay, now we need to double click on this layer again, and we need to change the location and size settings. So now you can see that the layer goes all the way across, and it's docked to the browser top. So we need to change this to docking layer, and then alignment is going to be center, and then dock mode is dock top. Okay, so we now need to preview this page, and we need to preview it. So we started, and we created the header. No, we are not finished with the header, but we created the layer and the logo, and now we need to actually see how this page looks like. So in order to do that, you need to click on the preview icon, or you can either click here or here. So just click on it, and it will launch your default browser, and it will display the site. So as you can see, we successfully created this layer. Okay, now we need to add a navigation, this navigation here, and we're going to use a CSS menu. So this menu here. And this is how the menu looks like, and obviously I'm going to show you, and obviously we need to customize it. So double click on it, and first I'm going to enter in the pages that we want to use, and the pages, as you can see here, are home, products, our work, and contact. So home, products, our work, and contact. So these are the pages, and now we create. So if I click OK, you can see that the pages appeared, but I need to double click on it and select style, and I need to change the style. So the background is going to be white, because we don't have a background. It's white, or you can also select transparent from here. Then the text size is larger, 12 pixels, and I'm going to select this gray color. It's not black. So I'm going to select this color, and I can also use this tool to copy this color. So like this, so just copy the color and you press OK. And the hover color, this is the hover color as I'm rolling over, and the color is just it's a black color. So this one. And we don't have a border. We need to remove the border by typing 0 here. So this is how it looks like. So if I press OK, now I need to change the width and the height of this tab. So double click on it, click style. And then I'm going to select 120, and height is going to be 30 pixels. So okay, and this is how it looks like. So we created the header. So the header, and it's really beautiful, and we created the header. So next we need to create this full-size image here, and I have it. So now I can't simply place an image here and select it, because if I place an image, I'm going to show you what happens. So let's just place the image like this, and when I preview the page, you can see that it doesn't go all the way across. So we need another tool to make this. So I'm going to use a layer, and the layer is here under advanced. Okay, and now I'm going to remove the border, because I don't use borders in this template. And now if I click on style, you can see that I can fill this layer with a color, but I can choose to be transparent, color, image gradient, multicolor gradient, pattern, or texture. I'm going to select image, and I'm going to select this image. Now I'm going to select do not repeat, and yes. So then I'm going to click on general, and then I'm going to select floating layer. It's really important to select this option. Then change the floating mode to full width, and the alignment to center. Direction is left, so press OK, and you can see the image here. So here I created it. So you basically need to change to check default, and then relative horizontal sizing and relative vertical sizing. But as you can see now, I don't actually see the image really good. So I can see the hand here, but I don't really see it here. So double click on it, and I'm going to click on style, and then I'm going to change this to center. And now we can see the hand, and I can obviously resize this. Okay. Now I see it, but I don't really see the pen. So let's change it like this. Okay. So now we have this title here, and the subtitle and the call to action buttons. Button. So let's create this, and we need text, and just type your title here, or whatever you want. And now, like in Microsoft Word, we need to change the font. So we need to, I'm going to select maybe 36, no, or 72, and change this to white. And now I'm going to select this, and then choose this option here to align it. So now we created the text, but as you can see, the font isn't so it's a default Arial font, but we want this font we want to use this font, this nice thin font. Now as you remember, we installed this font here that is used in this project, and I can change it. I can select it from this drop down menu, but as you can see, I don't see it, and that's because the font isn't installed in WYSIWYG Web Builder. So to install it, you need to click on Tools, then click Options, and then you need to select the Fonts button under User Interface. So click on it, and you will see all these fonts that are not used. So only the fonts that have this checkbox, so this only the fonts that are checked are currently used in WYSIWYG Web Builder. So you need to find the name of the font. So this is actually the name. So it's Myrat Pro Lite, and we need to check it and press OK. And now I can select the font from this drop-down menu. As you can see, here it is. So now we need to create the subtitle. To do this, we need to select another text, and just I'm going to just copy and paste this. Something about you and the website here. And now select it, select another color, select the font, change and this here, and align it. It's a little bit too large, and I'm going to make it smaller. Okay, let's see, and we have space here in between, so smaller. Okay, so we have a title and a subtitle, and we need to create this call to action button, and this call to action button is actually created using the CSS menu, so the same tool that is used to build this menu. So now we need to drag a CSS menu from here, and because we only have one button, I'm going to remove all of this, and the button says learn more. Okay, now we need to change the style. Click on style, and then background. I'm going to use this color here, which is the color that I used, and I'm going to use the black color for a hover color. Now the text is obviously white, and the text font is maybe 12 or larger, I don't know. But what is important is it's important to round these corners here, so the corners are rounded. And we can do this by clicking on the border section and then typing maybe 4. But this button is larger, so I'm going to select 10. Now the width, obviously, it's a really large button, so 120. But we don't actually see the preview of the width. So I don't see, maybe this is bug, but we don't have a preview of the width. So we need to click OK and then experiment with. So it's not looking good. So the width is going to be 190. And it's better, so I'm going to use 230. So now the width, I think I'm happy with this width, but we need to change the height. So the height is 28. I'm going to make it 50. No, 45. And it looks good, but we need to remove the white border here. So just click on style and click on border and just type here 0 for width and press OK. And the text is looking too small, so I'm going to select 15, and there we go. So it's not looking exactly like this button. This button is larger, so you can experiment with this. You can type, for example, 250 and then 50. Oops. And you can experiment with, but I think you understand how to customize it and how to do it. Okay. So now, what we need to do is I'm actually going to resize to make this. No, it's not working. So I think I should customize it from here. If I select center, yes, because the image is too large. Okay, so as you can see, it's there, and I also can see the border. So it looks really good. And this layer here is actually is using the default mode, and this is not working quite well because we need layout grids which are fluid. So we need to delete it because it's not working. But before this, I'm going to create a new page here. I'm going to select this, and I'm going to create a new page, and I'm going to select to change the background to black because I want to see these objects here, and I'm just going to select them by pressing the Shift key, then Control C, and then Control V here, so I can see them. Now I'm going to remove this layer, and I'm going to use the layout grid, so this thing here. And now the layout grid is a difficult tool, but it's really helpful because it creates responsive websites really easily. So double click on it, and we need to remove this thing here. So just press remove, because we don't have 2 columns, we just have 1 column with the title. So you just remove it. Okay, and now we need to select our layer, to put our layer here with the title, the subtitle, and the call to action button. But the layout grid can't work with layers. The layout grid itself can be a layer. So let's do this. So we click on style, we choose image, and it works exactly like a layer. So we can fill it with image, do not repeat, center, top, and we just click OK. But I can't resize it, so I have to put a content in it. And to put a content, I need a placeholder, simply an object that holds a place for the content. And I'm going to use a text for this, just a blank text here. Double click on it, and I'm going to create a space like this. Now copy this object here and paste it here. And as you can see, it's we need to place them individually. We can simply place them like this. So first I'm going to place this title, and now if I just place the this subtitle, as you can see, I want a space here in between, so I need another placeholder. So I'm going to copy and paste this text and place it here. It's obviously too large, so double click on it and do it like this. So now I can place this here, and I need a placeholder for my button. Now double click on it because I need more space here, and I need the button to be centered. So double click on the layout grid, select this one, and then select edit. No, not edit. You have to edit it from here. So just change the alignment to center, and you can see the button is here. Now we need more space here, so just copy this text, and we just put in an empty text. Yes. So let me preview this page. There is a problem with this layer. So the layer has to be floating layer. Remove this, okay? And there we go. So the problem was that I selected these two options. So now, what we've achieved with that layout grid is now you can see that it's responsive. It responds. Now without the layout grid, so this is without, no, it's with the layout grid. But without the layout grid, it won't resize. So we need to be fully responsive. Okay, now we can start building our content. And the first thing that we see here is actually the product title. But we have a space here in between, so we need a placeholder. So I'm going to place a text. Now before the text, I forgot to add a layout grid, so you can search for it if you are here. Layout grid. And just drag and drop. And we have one column, so the title, just the title. Did I add this text? I don't know. So let's add a text, because we need a placeholder. And like I mentioned, we have only one column, so I need to remove this column. And if you don't understand what columns are with this tool, you'll understand this later. So just add this text, and now all of the objects become fluid and fluid. But there is an option. The objects can be fluid or fixed. There is an option. So we have a space in between, and we need to add, so I'm going to leave it as it is because I'm going to use this layout grid to add space. And we obviously need another layout grid to create the title. And I'm just going to create one layout grid for space and one layout grid for title, and I'm just going to copy and paste them, which is easier than to create another layout grids. So now we need a text, and we need to type our title here. And the title is products. And then we need to align it, to center it, and then we need to change the color, the font, and the font size. I think 26 is okay, so I'm going to use 26. Okay, now we have one layout grid with title and one layout grid with space, with free space. So I'm going to copy this and paste it here, because we need a space, and then we need to place our products here. So now here, you can see that we have 3 columns. And now we need another layout grid with 3 columns. So let's add it. And now I'm going to add another column here. And they must be equally large. Now we need to add these icons here. And WYSIWYG Web Builder has an icon tool, which is called Font Awesome icon, and you can find it here. And this is the first icon that I used. I don't remember how these are called, but you can experiment with. You can add everything that you want. So I have no idea where this icon is. I have to search for it. So I found it. It's the paintbrush, and we need to change the style, which is this. It's not black. It's gray, dark gray, and we don't have a border. So I'm going to select the same colors. But we have a hover mode here. As you can see, we have a hover mode. And so if you want to create the hover mode, you need to select a darker color for a hover color. So you can select black, for example, if you want to. Okay, now we need to resize this brush like this. You can make it larger or big as you want. Large or big as you want. No, large or small as you want. Now, place it here. And as I mentioned, I need space in between, so I'm going to add a text here. And now I'm going to add this, and I need to center it. So just select this and then change the alignment to center, like this. Okay, now I have two icons here, so there are three, but I can simply copy them like this. And I have to place these assets here individually. So just select, edit it, and select center. Then copy, then paste them one more time, place this here, the icon, and change this to center. Now I need to change these icons because there are three different icons, so I'm going to do that, double click on it, and I'm going to select the icon from here. So this is the icon street view. This is the last icon. So this is the icon. And now what we have is a text. So we have a space here in between. So let's copy this divider here, this empty text that we use for placeholder. And now we need to type in a text. So just now I'm going to type this text, and as you can see, it's a sample text, which means that you can double click here and you can select lorem ipsum, and then you need to select the paragraphs or words. So you can have, for example, 10 words, but I already have the text, so I'm just going to copy it. And as you can see, it's the same here because this is just a default sample text. So just type it here, align it, change the font, just like you would do Microsoft Word. Change the color, change the font size, and the font size is smaller. It's not 20, it's 15, no, 18, I think. So let's place it here and let's take a look. And this is how it looks like, and I want you to know how the layout grid actually works. So here, as you can see, now this is not resizing because it's not responsive, but we're going to make this responsive a little later. Okay, so now we need to add more text. But we need more space. So I'm going to add, and it has to be equally. Okay, I think that's okay. And now what we have, let's take a look. We have our work and then 2 paragraphs of text. So we need space in between, so I'm going to copy the entire layout grid and paste it here. Now we need a title, so I'm going to copy this and paste it. So now, before we go any further, we need to save what we have. So we need to save our project. So I'm going to click on File, and then Save As WYSIWYG Web Builder Project, and I'm going to name it Tutorial. And I'm going to save it on my desktop. Okay, so now this is how the file looks like, and you can launch it, you can open it, and you just save it. Okay, so now let's continue. So we have this text here. So let's copy and paste the divider. And we need a new layout grid. So we need an empty layer, not empty, but a layout grid with text. So I'm going to copy and paste the empty one because we already have a text here. And it's the same thing. You just click on lorem ipsum and you select 2 paragraphs, but I already have the text here. So I'm going to copy it. And again, it's just a sample text. Now we need to customize it. So just change the font. So it has to be exactly the same font as here. So 18. We need 18. And then we need another font color, another font type, and align it. So this is. And now let's take a look at our website. And it's fully responsive because we're using the layout grids. That's why the website is responsive. As you can see, it responds. Okay, so now we created a text, and it's time to create this contact form. So copy this blank layout grid, paste it, and then copy a title and paste it. And we need to type here contact, and we need space here in between. Okay, now how do we create this content? Well, we need to use the contact forms. So here everything that's under form controls. And first we need edit box. Yes, edit box. So just, and it becomes fluid, as you can see. So the edit box. And as you can see, if I preview this page now, you can see that it's just, it has a border, but we want a shadow. So as you can see, it has a shadow. So let's do this. So we need to remove the shadow. No, not the shadow, the border. Where is the border? It's here. And add a shadow, just like the header. So the blur is going to be 15, no, not 10, and 1 and 1. So this is how it looks like. But here we have rounded corners here. So we need to click on border, and then radius is going to be 10. Not the radius. I'm sorry, not the radius. The width. The radius has to be 0. Okay. It's not working. So maybe here is 10. Okay. But it has, maybe I need to increase it. So let's select 50 because we have a shadow here, as you can see. No, it's not working because maybe it's because we have a shadow. So let's leave it as it is, and we need another edit box. So here it says your email, your name. So how do we do this? So we need to double click on it, and we need to type here under where it says placeholder, your name. And now you can click on validate, and you can, for example, enter maximum length, or you can choose whether this field is required or not, but I'm not going to concentrate on this because this is a designing tutorial. Yes, and then click OK, and it says your name. Now double click on this, and your email. Now because this is an email, I'm going to click on validate, and I'm going to change this to email. And what will happen is, if someone enters an address that doesn't have an @ or a dot something, it won't allow the form to be executed, to be sent. So this is like a filter. So, and you can choose whether this field is required or not, and you can choose an error message when something bad happens. For example, you can type here an error, type your email address or something like this. But I'm not going to do it, so I'm going to click OK, and now we have this large text form, text field. So I'm going to select text area and place it here, and now you just type your message here. Now this is 2 is different, but it's the same as these fields here. So you just have a placeholder, which is your message, and you also have the validate and all of these tabs here. So remove the border, add shadow, and I actually can see the shadow here. And now if you want to, you can add a space here in between. You can, for example, use text. You can use text and then delete it, and you can add a space between if you don't like this, but I like it, so I'm not going to add a space. So I like how it looks like, but maybe I'm going to, no, I'm not going to do that. Maybe it will be helpful if I type 5 here. Yes, so just decrease it. Okay, so we have your message, and now we need this button here, submit, which is, where is the button? This button here. So I'm going to select, now here we don't have a shadow, we just have colors, and I'm going to, now there are 2 colors that I'm working with. It's just dark gray color and a black color. But unfortunately we don't have a hover mode, and I'm going to remove the border. Select 15, okay, and now we get these rounded corners here, okay. And wait, these are capital letters. Okay, so let's type submit with capital letters. Okay, and the font is bigger. So maybe 14, yes, and just place it here. Now double click on it, select it, and click center. Now normally when you basically create a form, you need this form field here to make your form working. But I can't add it here because the layout grid won't work with this field here. So, but the layout grid can handle it. But the layout grid can be a form itself. So double click on it, and we have the form tab. And I'm going to click enable form and then settings. And here you can choose how you want to collect this information. So you can have this information uploaded to a database or delivered using email. So what most people do is they use built-in PHP processor script. And now you need to type an email that is on your web server. So if you host the domain mywebsite.com and you upload your website, then you have to create a domain, or yes, not a domain, but an email that has your domain in it. So if you host your website on mywebsite.com, then you have to create your email like admin@yourwebsite.com. However, there are some emails that you can use. For example, you can type in here your Gmail if you don't have a hosting service. And you can type here whatever you want. You just, for example, website form, for example, contact form. Or so you will now your website visitors won't see what you type here under subject, but you need to type something that you will recognize after you receive this information. So you can type, for example, contact, or I don't know, and you change the text here. And here we have a success page and an error page. So when somebody successfully executes the form, and then you have to somehow inform or notify this user that he has successfully executed the form. But I'm not going to do that. So you can create another page that says success or an error, and you can link this page, but I'm not going to do it. Okay. So I'm just going to leave this form as it is. So just type your Gmail here, and you can leave this empty. It's not that good to do it, but I'm going to do it. Okay. Now we created this form, and now we need to select this footer here. So I'm just going to copy. This layout grid here. So we need a space, and I'm going to paste it 2 times, because I'm going to use the second layout grid for my footer, but obviously I need to change the color. So I'm just going to select it, edit, and then I'm going to choose a color from here. Okay, now we need copyright. So it's just a text, but you can use JavaScript for your copyright notice. But I'm going to use a text, not JavaScript. So you can insert ready to use JavaScript, and you can select copyright notice, but I'm going to use a text. So text, and if you can't type the copyright here, you can what you can do is you can click on lorem ipsum, not on lorem ipsum. You can click on symbol, and you can choose copyright. And obviously I need to change the font and the font color and the font size. I'm going to choose 12, no, not 12, 15. Okay, 15. And obviously the text can't be dark gray, so it has to be white, centered, and like this. But as I mentioned, I need a placeholder. So let's copy this blank text here and paste it here. But the placeholder is too much, I think. So let's do it. Now these fields are looking too small, but you can make them larger, and you can customize it, and you can change the font size here if you want to. So here, and here you can make them larger, as large as you want, and you can select your font color from here. And I forgot to mention something. Now, when you click on this form here, you get this blue indicator here, which shows that you are now editing or that you are working with this field. And you can change the color from here. So I like to use a black color, simply a black color. Okay, now let's check to see if this here now you can leave it as it is. It looks fine, but I want to decrease the height of this footer. And I just edit this text field like this. Okay, I'm going to leave it as it is. Now, we created this website, and I'm going to save it by clicking on this icon here. But this website isn't entirely responsive. So, as you can see, it's not that responsive. So this is responding, but the header is not responding. So we need to make the header responsive. And we're going to use the breakpoints. Now, first, we need to understand what breakpoints is. Breakpoints are basically how your website looks like at different browser dimensions or different browser widths. So when I open this page here, the template, and simply decrease the size, you can see that once my web browser reaches this breakpoint, which is here, the navigation changes. And once my browser width hits a breakpoint that is here, the header changes, and this mobile menu appears. So this is basically how the breakpoints look like. You use them to basically tell the browser that you want to change the menu to mobile menu when the browser width changes, reaches, for example, 320 pixels or 780, or I don't know. Okay, so basically a size. Now, to do this, we need to create a new breakpoint. And you can do this by clicking on this add breakpoint icon. And I like to use 2 breakpoints. So I'm going to use for a tablet here, okay? And this is how it looks like. Yes, so it looks fine. The menu is not too big, but I'm going to click on it and I'm going to change the dimension. So it looks fine. So I'm going to change this to maybe 700 pixels. Because I can see that the menu is smaller than 700 pixels. Okay, so I click here on this breakpoint, and I'm actually working with that breakpoint now. And I need to change the width of my menu because the breakpoint is here and the menu is larger than this breakpoint. I can't simply change these settings that I added because it will update it and it will change it at all of the instances that we have. So we need to add another menu that has different settings. So to do this, before I add this menu, I need to actually replace the new menu with this one. So to do this, I need to open the Objects Manager first. To do this, you need to click on the View panel and then select Object Manager. And this is how the Object Manager looks like. And I'm going to click on this menu. You can see it's selected. And I'm going to uncheck. So I'm working with 700 pixels, and I'm going to uncheck visible. And you can see that this menu disappeared. If I click on default, which is 900 pixels, you can see that the menu is still there. But it's not on 700 pixels, which means that we can now add another menu, which is going to be the CSS menu. And now instead of adding and creating a new menu, I'm going to copy it because I don't want to define it again. Okay, so now the only change that we need to make is simply make this menu smaller. So the width is not going to be 120 pixels, it's going to be, for example, 80 pixels. But it's too small, so let's leave it as 100. And as you can see, it fits perfectly. But if you have problems, you can decrease the spacing here. Okay, now the problem is that when we click on default, we can see the menu here. So we need to hide the menu from here. So I just select it, and I uncheck this, and the menu is hidden. Now we have a small problem with the header, so I'm going to fix it. So this is the menu, and I'm going to basically hide it. Okay, so now if we preview this page, we can see that the menu changes. It hits the 700 pixel breakpoint, and then the menu changes, as you can see. So that is what we are aiming. Now here we created this first breakpoint here, so this breakpoint, and we need another breakpoint for our mobile menu. So let's create it, and now we have to make this a dramatic change where we replace this menu with the mobile menu. So let's do that. So first we need to add another breakpoint, which is going to be 320 pixels, or not not that much. I think it's too much. So it's going to be, I think, 500 pixels. And press OK. So this is the breakpoint here. And obviously we need to hide the menu from this breakpoint as well. Here's the menu, so I'm going to hide it. So basically just resize it and then hide it and then resize this. I'm sorry, I'm going to fix this, make this larger. And now we need to go to 500 pixels as I mentioned. Okay, now we need to change the menu. We basically do the same thing. We need to hide this menu from this breakpoint, so we hide it. And now it's empty, but the menu still exists here on the other breakpoint. So now we need to add the mobile menu, which is this one. So how do we do this? Well, we have new tool on WYSIWYG Web Builder 11, which is called mobile menu. So we can find it here, responsive menu. It's called responsive menu. But before that, let's save our progress by clicking on this icon here. Okay, we can add it, and now it looks black. Obviously, we need to customize it. Okay, so I'm sorry. So double click on it, and we need the pages only. Now, how this menu looks like, I actually want to show you how this menu looks like. I'm going to place it here. And the menu actually looks like this. And when you click on it, it expands, and we see these icons here. But obviously, we need to remove these icons. And we need to change the color. So there are also submenus that we need to remove. Remove the submenus. And now we have, so here what we have is home, product, our work, and contact. So let's type it. So we have home, but there is no icon, so I'm going to choose none. Home, products. What do we have? Let's see. Home, products, our work, and contact. And I'm going to add another one. And before I do this, I'm going to click on menu items, because when I click here and then add another one, it's going to actually place this underneath our work, and it will create it, and it will create a submenu. But I don't want this, and you can change it later if that occurs. But I want simply another item. So I'm going to click here, and we need to click on contact. Okay. And now we created the items, but we need to change the style. So the background is obviously white, and we don't have a hover color, and the text is this gray color that we use on this project. Yes, and we don't have submenus, so we don't have to change this because we don't have submenus. You can make hover if you want to, and I'm going to remove this because it says menu in our template. It's blank. Okay. So we need to, here where it says full width, we need to change this on true to true. And now it says menu title alignment. I'm going to click right. And I'm going to change the font size to 14. Yes. And click OK. And this is how it looks like. Now we obviously want this menu, this hamburger menu to be on the right side. It looks like hamburger. So to do this, I'm going to select, under menu title, I'm going to select center button left. Not button left, button right. Okay, so now the button is on the right. And what we need to do is I'm going to right click on it and select move to back. Because otherwise it goes over the logo. But as you can see, there is a problem here with this menu here. And that's because the menu is full width. So we need to change this to false. Now, I think the false is the default option, but I'm going to keep the default options on. So like this, and then move to back, or you can move this icon to the front. So now resize this mobile menu like this, and it looks great. Now obviously we need to hide this menu from these instances here. So first move it, resize this, and then select, just basically hide it. And this is a little bit difficult because you can mess up with all these breakpoints and stuff, and it can be really complicated, and I think that this tutorial helps. Okay, it looks fine to me. But let's look at the default state. You can see what's happening here. So, and make it invisible, like this. And the menu is not disappearing. It's there, but it's invisible. Okay. So, let's take a look. It looks fine. And now, let's check it out. So, this is how it looks like. This is the default state. But as you can see, the menu is on the left. So we're resizing and everything changes, and now the website here behaves differently. Now this is centered here, so we can obviously center this. Let's see. You can just drag and drop it here, because this is the default state, and it's not exactly centered, but actually it is centered because we can see it's resizing. So we have 900 pixels, and I just have to place it here to the center. And so we created the hardest thing here, and it's really nice. And now, if you see things that are not entirely perfect or things that you don't like, you can play with them and just fix them. So let's save our progress. And what we need to do now is we need to make the navigation work. So if we click on products, we can see that it's scrolling and it goes to products. Now, if we click on our template here on products, for example, nothing's happening. So if I double click on this CSS menu and select an item, I just need to double click on an item, and I can select where it goes. So so you just have to select a link. So you can type a link to another web page, a page that is inside the project, a link to an email address, file, smart link, FaceTime, phone number, SMS, or Skype, and you can choose how you want the content to be displayed. So by default, it's open in the same browser window, but you can change it to a new browser window, a pop-up window, another window or frame, or in a lightbox. But the content, now we have a scroll. The content, it's not displayed on another window or a pop-up window. It's actually scrolling. So we need to create this effect. Now, we create this effect using bookmarks. This is the bookmark here, and we need to add bookmarks on all of the sections that we have. So we need to add one for products here, and make sure that you place it exactly on the place that you want. So it's really important. So we need one for products, and I need one for products, and I paste it on the right. Now I forgot to change the title here, so it's not products, it's our work. And we need one for contact, so let's add it, and make sure that it's on the right. It is exactly on the right. Make sure that it's not somewhere else. It's really important to align it with the title. Okay, so we have 3 bookmarks, and now we can close the object manager, and we need to look at our properties here. Now every object here has an ID, and the bookmark, so the first bookmark has the ID bookmark 1, the second bookmark has the ID bookmark 2, and this is what we're going to use, these IDs. You can change the IDs and customize them, but I don't think that this is necessary. So I'm going to double click on my navigation. I'm going to click on products, and from here I can choose the bookmark. So I can either link a page or a bookmark, and this is what I'm going to do. Or you can also link a bookmark that are on another pages. So the bookmark is bookmark 2, so just select it, and no, it's bookmark 1. So just select it and press OK. Now let's take a look at the behavior. Now I click on products and it scrolls, but I don't see what exactly happens because it's scrolling too fast as you want. We need an animation here at this point. So I click on products. It's not, so this is product. This is bookmark 1. And what I've selected is, yes, bookmark 1. So we need an animation. So we have a brand new option here, which is called Enable Smooth Scrolling. So let's check it, and let's see. So products, but it's scrolling too much, and that's because this is not part of the project of the layout grid. So when it resizes, the bookmark is somewhere here, and that's why it's not working. So I need to place it here. But as you can see, it's not exactly working. So we need to create a column for this bookmark. So let's double click on it, and we can add a column that is 1. We don't need much space for it. So here, and we can see the bookmark. Okay. And I click on products, and it scrolls up to products. So this is what basically happens. And if this is too large, you can obviously decrease it. Okay. Now we need more space here, like this, because this wastes space. I think it's much better, but you can play around with it. So, to the left. Let's take a look. It's perfect now. This is what we want. Okay. So, we do the same thing here again. We add a space here, and we place the bookmark. We save our progress, and we add space here. And the same thing here. Okay. Add a space. And now we need to select these bookmarks here. So we selected for products. We don't have for home, but we can create, I think. So on our work, I'm going to select the 3rd bookmark. And for contact, I'm going to select so this is the 3rd bookmark is actually for the contact form. So bookmark 3, our work is bookmark 2. Okay. So if I click on products, we go to products. We go to our work, and I forgot to enable the smooth scrolling. Where it's under the bookmarks. Enable smooth, and you can change here the animation, everything, the time, and okay. So now it works fine, but unfortunately, as you can see, the navigation is not it's not docked, it's scrolling, it's scrolled. So what we need to do is we need to change that, but we're going to do that later. So now home, I'm going to select the home page here, because if you create another pages using the same template, then you obviously need to link the home of the home page. And I'm going to link it also here, so the logo will link to home. And you can also place a bookmark around here, and so here in the navigation, here like this. And you can select home if you want to. So this is bookmark 4, this one, and it should work. Okay. So now, what we need to do is, let's see. I don't like that is so much to the left, and I want to change it, but I'm not entirely sure how. So there we go. As you can see, it changed. So I just here under layer, I selected alignment right, and I placed them here to the right. So I'm going to do the same thing here. Change this to right. Okay. And we don't need to do this for the mobile version, for the mobile instance of the website. So our website looks fine. I think here we should add more pixels here. So it's 5, but I'm going to make it 8, for example. Yeah, I'm going to make it 8. Okay. Okay, now we have a border that is, so we selected 50 from here, and that's the problem here, that you can leave it as it is, but I don't like it. So let's select 8 maybe, or 10. 8, okay, I'm going to select 10, and same thing here. And 10. Okay, now let's save our work. It looks good, I think. Okay, now what we need to do is we need to dock this to the browser top. Now, if I double click on it and select docking a layer like this, and then dock to top, now I want you to see what happens. This is what happens, and we don't want this. So if I here select move to front, let's see, it moves. So but you need to select move to front and not like move forward. It has to be move to front. Okay, so now it's docked, but you can create another effect with this menu. So but that's a little bit too much for this tutorial and template, and I basically need to move them to the left. Okay. We have a little problem here, and I know how to fix it. I'm going to change this to center. Yes. Okay. So this is how the website looks like, and maybe it would be good to add a space here, more space, and make this image bigger. And this is how you create the website. So thank you for watching this tutorial. I hope you like it, and bye. Scroll effect. So basically what we've seen now.